Hi guys, it's Dark Age Week here on beastsofwar.com, and we have an amazing prize pool that must be won. First up, we have an amazing 1000 point 2-player starter bundle for you and me to get into the game, including 2 500 point armies, all the cards, tokens and templates you need to get into the game, and signed copies of the core rulebook and the Forsaken book. We then have 7 starter sets up for grabs, also including a signed copy of the core rulebook. As if that wasn't enough prizes for you, our Beasts of War members are in with a chance of winning 5 amazing spot prizes from some of the coolest comments this week. So, hi guys, welcome to Dark Age Week here on beastsofwar.com. We are having a look at the Forsaken here today, gentlemen. So, we've had a quick chat about these in the main overview of the world, but I want to get a little bit more in-depth as to who these guys are and what's motivating them within the storyline. So, Michael, we know that they're religious zealots, but what's the main drive? What actually caused them to come into existence?
So the Forsaken are actually my favorite faction, so this would be a good chance to go and talk to them. Basically, as we said before, the Forsaken are the last remnants of organized society. They have the best access to existing high technologies because they have access to Port City, which was the main space hub of the planet.
Yeah.
Well, the higher-ups needed a means of controlling the population once the collapse happened, and they decided to use religion as a means of doing so.
Yeah.
So over the last centuries and generations, they have been warping all the religious doctrines and things they have found to basically say, praise us, we're the ones in charge, we're the voice of God, so you follow what we say, and everything will work out okay in the end.
Brilliant, and at the same time, I'm guessing they're using things like this to actually make people believe by going, look at this massive divine creation, this is the Archangel who is going to fight for you, save you, keep you safe.
Absolutely, they are flashy above anything else. A lot of their aesthetics and just their design is going to be things that are visually just grandiose and visually impressive, because they want the masses to not only know we're here to protect you as long as you follow us and serve us, but we have all the best stuff here. We are, the high and mighty rulers of this world.
Yeah. Right, well, who is it we're looking at here?
This is the Archangel Michael, and there are 3 archangels, Gabriel, Raphael, and Michael, and they're these big war machines, and they're made specifically to be, well, again, they're competent fighters, and they are meant to go out there and just destroy everything around them, but they're meant to be a grandiose display for the people of, look at what we have. This is the Archangel Michael gifted to us by the heavens to come fight for us, to show that we are the ones in the correct and we're in the right. And in game, he's terrifying. He's one of the most expensive units that you can take in the Forsaken army, but that's because he sets everything he attacks on fire. His sword actually is again a giant flaming sword. He has this purgation attack that can create this giant blast of fire around him, and then like the other 3 Archangel suits, when he dies, he actually explodes. That is for the Prevailers' purposes, the ones who actually made him. That is so that the suit cannot be taken by the enemy or whatnot. But they've spun that into the fact of, when he is defeated in battle, he's just temporarily sent back to heaven. So that's this great light that you're seeing when he erupts.
Yeah, and when he dies,
the host leaving.
The final wrath of God destroying the enemy that took him down.
Exactly.
It's all about how you spin it.
Yep.
Of course, it's wonderful. Okay, next up, who do we have?
Here we have 2 of the Forsaken Saints. The Saints are basically very powerful and influential leaders in the Forsaken military, or society in general. So here we have Saint John on the left, who basically is this big techno-paladin. His guys are all heavily armored, and they carry a lot of kind of, they're meant to look like crusaders. So John himself here has his giant power hammer and shield. The armor is also electrified, so if anything comes up and touches him or whatnot, he can let this big static discharge off and shock everything.
Oh, brilliant. So I'm also seeing on his shield there, he's just got a little circular saw just stuck into the front there, just in case he needs to sucker punch someone.
Yep. And then on the right here, we have Saint Mary.
Yeah.
Her troops specialize in the fervor of battle. The more damage they take, the stronger they're going to get. And they're about punishing the enemy.
Right, so it's basically whenever you're fighting St. Mary's forces, focus, kill, focus, kill.
If you leave any of them just wounded, they're just going to turn that into offensive power and come at you. And her weapon of choice here is her mace Vindicator, and then on the left hand you see she has a giant nail gun.
A giant nail gun.
Which is more like a railroad spike launcher, but it's a nail gun.
That's always fun. Pin your enemies to the walls. Always a good laugh. Okay, I think we have more of the saints here. So who are these guys?
So here we have Saint Luke on the left, with basically in his big suit of
He's got a massive powered
combat
armor suit.
Yeah.
So where do you find this? In a world where technology is dying and burning out, where do you find this?
Well, there are lots of archives, but you remember this was a futuristic world. There's lots of incredible technology that was there beforehand.
Of course, but I'm expecting it all to be rotted and done. You know.
But this suit was kind of the prototype for the Archangel suits. Saint Luke's troops are very much like kind of like a SWAT team kind of approach. There's a lot of close raiding, kind of thing, shotguns, grenade launchers.
Ooh, lovely.
They like to fire a lot of smoke around the battlefield to obscure themselves from other people, but they have the technology in their helmets to see directly through the smoke.
Okay, that's going to make for a very interesting playstyle, because it's sort of that control army where I'm forcing my opponent to do stuff. I'm forcing you to move to different channels of the board to actually get at me because I'm funneling you right where I want you. Oh look, I've got 3 guys with shotguns. Come and have a go.
Yep.
Luke's troops are very elite in their methods. They've got the best gear and the best weapons, but you're going to pay the price for that. And as a result, you have this hyper-elite force that if you allow them to play by their style, they're going to dominate the battlefield. So you've got to work your way around their strategy, not play into their strengths.
Yep.
Oh, it's a thinking man's army. Who is our other hero here?
Here we have Saint Johan, who is known as the Heretic Saint.
Okay. So why is he known as the Heretic Saint? Just to get off the bat here.
He's a saint that felt that grafting was a valid technology and a valid approach to sort of dealing with issues.
Hence the heretic. So has he actually grafted anything onto himself here?
Yep. You can see the 2 big hooked blades up over the back on the arms there. So they're kind of like a biomechanical mix there that he's grafted on. And of course, in the current timeline, Saint Johan is no longer with the Forsaken faction.
Okay, so I'm sure we'll get to that whenever we see where he has gone. Next up, we have my favorite piece of artwork of everything so far. Saint Joan, I believe, yes?
Yep, Saint Joan.
So who is Saint Joan?
This is Saint Joan, the newest saint introduced into the Forsaken, the Divine Inquisitor. And so she ties in a bit with Johan and actually in the Scarred. So she people who are born with basically mutant powers or whatnot. In her case, she was born with ability of precognition and some psychic abilities. Usually those people are kind of killed at birth, or as soon as that's discovered, because it's heretical and whatnot.
Yeah.
In Joan's case right here, she was so powerful that instead of killing her, they actually warped it into going, oh, this is a gift from God here,
So more of that lovely spin we get.
As a means, because they didn't want to waste the power that that she had. They want to, the Prevailers and the higher echelons of the Forsaken want to use that to their advantage. So they have, spun it in such a way that, she's not evil. She's completely holy. She's she's not evil like these other guys who were born like this. She's the good one.
Okay, I can live with this. I can understand how they worked it in. I believe we have one more saint to have a look at. Who is this?
On the left here, we have Saint Isaac. Saint Isaac is kind of like a technological wunderkind. He can find, or take a look at technological pieces that have been brought in from research station, or ancient research stations across the planet, and look at it and be able to get it working again. More so than anybody else in the Forsaken faction. So he has been elevated to saint level, and his forces are comprised of a lot of robots, big Prometheus robot suit, or rolling centipedes that are all controlled by his troops, basically.
For the playstyle, what are we going to see with this faction, or this sub-faction of the Forsaken?
Basically, for the playstyle, we're going to see a lot of so a smaller number of models, elite models. They'll move around, shooting. They've got a lot of ranged attacks.
Okay, now hearing ranged attacks interests me instantly, because I know weapons in this world. Because I'm holding a high-tech laser gun that's maybe 500 years old, I don't know how this thing works. Okay, I'm going to fire. Oh, double tap. Why is it vibrating? No, I'm just going to keep shooting. Why did it blow up? Now this is a mechanic I love in this game, actually having weapons that can just blast in your face whenever you use them wrongly.
So you, in this setting, technology is way past its prime. So you have this setting where you have people that are using sticks and clubs as weapons, but you also have guys who are using high-tech laser pistols.
Yeah.
The trade-off is that this technology has not been maintained in centuries. So you run the risk of whenever you're using it, of it backfiring on you.
Yeah.
That's via our malfunction mechanic that most ranged weapons are going to have if they have any type of technology around them.
Yeah, yeah. So if I'm throwing a spear or throwing a rock at someone, not a problem.
Yep.
If I have super high-tech grenade that's a mini nuke, this might go off in my hand.
Exactly. You're trading that power for the chance that it might backfire on you.
Yep.
Now, the next thing that you guys introduced is something which I know Lloyd loves, which is the mounts, and they look absolutely gorgeous. Who is this?
This is Saint Mark, one of the saints we haven't touched on yet, but more importantly, that is his dragon mount.
Yes.
And as the theme has said, the Forsaken want to make everything big and flashy, and one of the things they did was they created the mounts for each of their saints. These are actually all a horse that they have, or another animal and whatnot, that they've taken and grafted a bunch of upgrades to, and basically changed into this cybernetic, battle mount for their saints.
Quick question. Grafting is bad. We're in the Forsaken. Grafting is bad.
As I was just about to say, except when the Prevailers and the higher-ups do it. Then it's miracles.
Okay.
And just gifts from God and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Forsaken are not above, it's bad when everyone else does it. You don't know that we're doing it, so it's a
okay.
good thing.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we have our last mount, which is St. Mary on a unicorn, of all things. So, as you said, a horse, but they've added a ton of technology to it, which it looks really cool. How do these play on the tabletop? Are these monstrous whenever they're out on the tabletop? Are they just going to tear through everything?
So our standard point level for games is 500 points. Each of the mounts for the Saints is 200, so it's almost half your army invested into this one model. But you are getting, depending on the Saint and its mount, either a mobile fire station or just something that's going to be a terror across the battlefield. In Mary's case here, it is one of the fastest mounts, and it's a means of just getting her across the battlefield so she can get into melee where she wants to be.
Okay, so all right, one quick question: can they dismount during the game, or are they on the mount for the whole game?
It's on the mount for the whole game, and so you've got a mounted version and an unmounted version, depending on which one you want to play in that game. And then we have gone out of our way to make sure that the play styles are different for each of those. That the mounted one is strictly not just a better version of the unmounted one.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Right. Well, guys, that was a look at the Forsaken. I'm really liking the look of these guys. I'm loving the backstory, and I'm loving some of the play style that I'm hearing here. Drop us a comment below. Tell us, is this going to be the faction for you, or are you waiting for someone else in the Dark Age universe? We will see you in the next video.